So I had this PC dropped off to me by someone in my local area. He's looking to upgrade his motherboard, CPU, and RAM, and eventually his graphics card. He originally was gonna keep his old 360mm AIO, but we ran into an issue when installing the new parts, which I'll explain later in the video. Let's start taking this apart and go over the parts list. Let's start off with taking out the graphics card. The graphics card he has now is an MSI RTX 3070, which he plans on upgrading after when he gets the chance to get his hands on a new graphics card. Alright, the PC is extremely dirty, so before we start taking more parts off, I'm gonna put some gloves on. I will also be giving this PC a nice dusting and cleaning after we get these new parts taken off. The original AIO he had installed was a 360mm NZXT. I believe it's the Kraken model with the LCD screen, which... yeah, good thing I put gloves on. Now for the motherboard, CPU, and RAM, the motherboard is a Asus Prime Z390, the CPU is a i9-9900K, and for the RAM is a 2x16GB kit of G.Skill Trident, a very luxury looking set of RAM. For the boot drive is a Samsung 500GB, powered by a 850W power supply, all inside of this NZXT case. Before we go over the new parts and start installing them, let's dust off this PC and give it a good clean. So I'm going to be using these 70% isopropyl alcohol wipes. I'll have links to this and the duster I use in the description. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the case has a lot of these yellow stains. I wasn't sure at first if it was going to work, but it actually came off. And I know what you're thinking. No gloves. Still no gloves. I washed my hands. Now let's go over the upgrade parts. For the motherboard, we went with the ROG Strix Z790A Gaming Wi-Fi. Such a beautiful board. For the CPU choice is the beefy i9-12900K. And for the RAM, he went with a 2x16 kit of G.Skill Trident, DDR5 clocked at 6000 MHz. Same luxury style from his old setup. For the storage, we kept the same 500GB Samsung 970 EVO Plus for his boot drive. He does have a 2TB hard drive where everything else gets stored. Now that we have all the parts together, let me tell you the issue that I had with the AIO. While I was getting this into the case and had the AIO installed, I gave it its first boot up and the pump started giving me this weird noise. So I decided to rotate the pump because I've had similar issues like this with brand new pumps and installs where I would get a similar noise like this, just not as loud, and it would fix the issue, but it still gave me the same noise, just not as loud. Anyone have an idea of why it would suddenly do that? Let me know down in the comments. The radiator was extremely dirty anyway, so we ended up putting in a new 360mm AIO from NZXT, which looks better and cleaner than the old one. Alright, so you know I can't leave you guys without a PC flip. I've been so busy with PCs being dropped off, I haven't been able to do a big PC part hunt, but this is what I've been able to find on eBay. Found this Asus Prime B550 Plus Wi-Fi. Make sure you read the description and look at the photos. I've been getting a lot of motherboards without the back plate. Luckily I keep them in stock just in case this happens. I'll leave a link down below in the description for these. For the CPU, I know I've been using these a lot, but for the price and the value, again, I'm going with the Ryzen 7 5800X, which I had to clean up a bit. It had thermal paste on the pins. For the RAM, I'm going with the Alloy 2x8GB kit, but I will offer a 2x16GB upgrade in the listing so I can keep the price lower and give them the option to upgrade. For the storage, I always go with a 1TB, so I went with a 1TB Kelvin M.2 drive. It takes a good cooler to cool down this Ryzen 7 5800X. The Thermalright Assassin King is only $20 and it does this with ease. I decided to switch it up a bit on the PC case. Instead of the all glass look, I went with the BitPhoenix Flow in white. I will be honest, I think the case will slow down how fast it will sell. The all glass builds just sell faster. What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments. Part of this build is a 650 watt PVI Galaxy with some white vinyl to the side to make it look better in the case. Now for the graphics card, which has been sitting around in my office. I forgot I bought this a while back. It's a PNY RTX 4060 that I got on OfferUp, and it was a pretty good deal. Now let me get this all wired up with some cable extensions and let's check out the final product. PC is all posted up for sale. Like I said earlier, this might take a while to sell because of the case style. The all glass cases are just really popular, but I just wanted to take a break from all those builds. So while we wait for that to sell, let's go over this PC that just got dropped off. I actually built this PC for someone in my local area about 2 years ago. The specs are a Ryzen 9 7950X, an Asus Prime X670P, 2x16GB of DDR5, an Enermax 360mm AIO, and of course this beefy RTX 4090, all inside this massive Thermaltake PC case. I was told that the PC would just shut itself down and it would take a few tries to get it on and stay on, and once it finally gets on, it will run fine. Now, a PC shutting off to me on its own means a couple things. One, the PC is overheating. Only thing with his issue is once he gets it going after a couple on and offs, it runs fine. So two, could be a motherboard or power supply going bad. Only way to find out is for it to shut off on me like it does to the owner. After turning it on for the first time, temps are looking good, nothing out of the ordinary. I even stress tested it to make sure temps are where they're supposed to be and make sure it's stable and see if it would shut off on me. Everything is running great. I was also told that once he got it running fine, it would only shut off after he would try and turn it back on after it's been off for a while. So I turned it on and off myself a few times until I finally seen that the PC was hitting 113 degrees in temps. And it finally shut off on me. The AIO seems to be going bad, so the only thing left is to swap this out. A quick stress test to make sure temps are good before I give it back to the owner. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been trying to add different things than just PC flips all the time. Just let me know down in the comments if you like these quick repairs or any of the other stuff that I've been adding in my videos. If you made it this far,